Thank you for listening to Lone Star Community Radio. This program was broadcasted and recorded live from the LSCR studios in downtown Conroe, Texas. Lone Star Community Radio is supported by listeners like you. Donate and sponsor today. For more information on getting involved with Lone Star Community Radio, contact us at lscrstudios@gmail.com or visit us online at www.irlonestar.com.
Thank you for taking time to cruise in for Car Club Talk with Robert and Randy. And welcome to our home in the Lone Star Community Radio Studios house here in Conroe Tower in downtown Conroe, Texas. I'm Randy Weldon and
I'm Robert Helmer. Thank you for joining us.
We are your hosts today, and off camera we've got our sound engineer and producer Dick Schischler back there behind the protective glass.
Protective glass.
Protective glass, yeah. Yeah. It's soundproof over there, isn't it? He can't hear us. That's the thing. Hey, what do we have today going on with the show? We've got a couple of guests that are going to be in the studio today.
Right. We got Tim Abbott, owner of Tim's Twisted Wrench Garage here in Conroe, and we're going to cover his auto registration.
Restoration?
Yes. Okay. He does antique cars, and he was at the Texas Elite Auto Showcase when I saw him, and he had two beautiful cars, 1930s-something cars, totally restored. They are just immaculate. And so we brought him into the show. We're going to talk about his business and how he got into that. I met Tim a long time ago when his wife was the president of the Conroe Cruisers, so it was really surprised to see him out there with those two cars.
Yeah, well, good. I talked to him a little bit last night. I needed his email address, and I gathered that, and I sent in a bunch of pictures. I hope that Dick got the pictures so we can maybe display some of those.
I hope we can show those beautiful cars that he had at Texas Elite.
He had some pretty amazing cars out there.
Yes, and I think he told me the blue one's worth $700,000, and those cars are very unique. In that, those years.
Were those Packards?
I think one of them was.
Yeah.
But they just look bigger than life.
They do. They look like that movie star car. That's,
right. It's like, how does this thing fit on the road? They're so big.
Running up to the red carpet.
But he said that those things handle perfectly and, just no problem turning and everything. So that's really neat. So.
Good. It'll be good to get him in here.
That. Yeah. Also, we got Chris Josey, drag racing.
Chris Josey with Josey's Race Team.
That's his race team, right?
Yep. Or Josey, I think it's Josey's Racing Team.
Yeah.
But Chris got started, I know a little bit of his background. He got started with his dad and his uncles, and he kind of took it to a whole new level. He's got a Pro Street
Fox body.
The Fox body, yeah.
Yep.
But, I mean, it's got the roll cage. It's built for the track. The engine is unbelievable. And
it's a family affair also, right?
It is a family affair, but Chris is IHRA and NHRA licensed as a Pro Street driver.
Right.
Which is pretty exciting in and of itself. That's a fast car.
And he's been doing it for quite a while now.
He has, yeah, since he was a kid.
So he's going to be in the house, right?
He'll be here.
Okay.
Yep. You got anything else over there that newsworthy at all?
Well, let's go into the review of the Texas Elite Auto Show. First of all, this has nothing to do with Steve Green and his crew. This was NRG. Okay, if you didn't go out to this, or you might have, you experienced the same thing that we did. They were also having a concert there at the stadium, and so we're going to NRG Park
at that Coyote Stadium.
Yeah, and so when you're coming in, NRG cannot separate who was going to the car show and who was going to the concert. So they were charging us $40 to park. But if you were going to the car show, it was $20. But they couldn't separate us. You're paying $40 for the same space. Okay? Then you go into the car show, and when you buy your ticket to get in, they were refunding your money for the parking.
Giving you $20 bills.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you, I still haven't seen the refund yet.
Oh, no.
No, because they took your debit. They take a debit at the gate, And then they're saying, oh, we're going to refund your debit card within a couple of days. Well, I'm still waiting on that.
Not even Monopoly money coming back.
Right. But that has nothing to do with Steve Green and the crew that ran the show. That is just NRG and what some of the things
Well, those are both facilities of the city. And I'm sure the parking garage is also, but the parking garage more than likely is operated by a third party.
Yeah.
And I guess that's where everything falls apart right there.
Yeah. But once we got in, Steve Green and Craig, I don't know Craig's
Craig
last
Bierman, I believe it is.
Okay. Fantastic environment. The show looked great. The layout was great. The car's quality was up. So,
yeah, I did notice in the pictures that the car quality was way up.
Way up. The only thing I have, to say about is not everybody had a display. Not everybody had the carpet and the railing and everything. But the quality of the cars were definitely up. So, and another thing, I got to tip my hat to Craig and Steve Green and the crew, what they call relaxed atmosphere, is those guys are like family. And you can tell just being around them, they enjoy what they do. They enjoy each other. And it's just that shows in the show, the quality of the show. And it looks like, everybody's got a job to do and everybody gets it done. And so it looks like it's effortless.
Yeah.
They don't look like they're exhausted. They don't look like they're stressed out. They just look like everybody is having fun. And it just a great job.
Well, and let's look at it like this also. You've got, this is the very first one they've done there.
Right.
So this is the very first show they've held. These guys coming together for the first time. And I could be missing something. I don't think anybody's getting paid.
No, not that I know of anyway.
They're doing this on a voluntary basis, which is pretty normal.
Right.
So for them to pull off, at least to get the quality of cars they had in there.
Yeah.
Was
there
quite
was
a feat.
250 entries.
Yeah, 250. Pretty good for the very first show.
Right.
Yeah.
So we wish them good luck. I'll be there on the next one.
You'll be there at the next one. Do they have a show date for that yet for next year?
I haven't heard if there is yet.
No.
So we'll keep an eyes on that.
Well, we appreciate you going down there as a roving reporter. Where's the video? We can put some video up.
You had to go to the Texas Elite Auto Showcase Facebook page.
You didn't get to capture that on your
no, I didn't.
On your big old
my
camcorder,
my expensive,
your VHS tape or beta tape, whatever it was.
No. Okay, next thing we got is recalls. We got quite a few, and we're not picking on Ford, but it seems like Ford is the only thing that came up.
I watched another automotive podcast this weekend, and it was the same exact comment. It's like they didn't say they weren't picking on Ford. They just said, man, Ford's got to stop with the recalls.
Yeah. It says, if you drive a Ford, there's a good chance your vehicle is under recall.
Mine is.
Yeah.
Dick's is.
Yeah. Let's see what we got here. The largest recall includes 37,000 Mavericks, 2023 to 2024, and a 23 Ford Bronco Sport and a 23 Mustang Mach-E.
The Mach-E.
Yeah, and this is for the wiper motor. The wiper motor can just stop working. So what you do is
front or rear?
Yeah, front.
Or any of them.
Yeah. See, the dealers are inspect and replace the windshield wiper motors as necessary free of charge. So you can go by your dealer and check on that. If you have one of the vehicles here, a Maverick, Ford Bronco Sport, and the Mustang E. The other one is a transit recall.
Wait. They don't call it a Mustang E. It's the Mach-E. It just happened to have the running pony logo.
Yeah. No, they're putting Mustang on them now.
I haven't seen that yet.
Yep. I've been out there and I saw it. Yep, it's at the door jams now and everything.
All right.
One of them actually has GT on the back.
I have seen the GTs. Yes, I have seen that.
The GT will have the Mustang emblems on it. The other one is a Ford Transit recall. I don't know what they mean, other than it's a commercial vehicle. And on that one is the steering column intermediate shaft is coming loose. That's the steering column.
That's a little bit of a problem.
Yeah, it's a bolt. Let's see, the steering gear pinion shaft with an incorrect bolt. So I guess the tensile strength is not strong enough. It's probably snapping.
Wow.
Yeah, so that can come loose and break. So yeah, so that's pretty seriously there. The next one is the Mustang recall. Ford is also recalling 4,500 Mustang 2024. The rear suspension knuckle, it's a joint, may have a casting defect that caused them to fail. The results of the loss of the vehicle handling and steering control. So there you go with the steering again.
Yeah.
So no wonder we're having so many accidents on the road, right?
I would guess. Well, if nowhere else on the track, 165 miles an hour or so.
And another one on the Maverick. Ford is recalling 757 2022 Mavericks. This is previous repair. So this has been repaired, and it's under a recall for the 24V, I don't know what that is, 267. The body and powertrain control modules may fail to detect change in the 12-volt battery state. So I guess something to do with the voltage.
Yeah, something to do with voltage.
So, but the fact that it was already repaired and now they're calling in a recall on the repair.
It's a repair on the repair.
Yeah.
No, that's all right. I know a few other manufacturers have been through that.
And let's see. Yeah, and just another note, if what to do, that just contact the Ford customer service number at 1-866-436-7332 to ask if you're under a recall.
Oh, so you can call and they'll basically ask what model vehicle you got. And
they'll ask what your VIN is, and you're under your VIN number. And you can also probably go to Ford website to check for recalls. Just put your VIN number in and see if you're under a recall.
All right, so just enter your VIN number or give them your VIN number, and then you're covered. They'll take care of you at that point.
All right, and there's one more. It's the Ford Motor Company also. 2016-22 Ford EcoSport and the Ford Focus. With the 1-liter engine in it, it has the cars have a defective part that could potentially ruin the engine. And this has a class action lawsuit because it has something to do with the oiling of the engine, and Ford notified everybody late. There were already a couple of motors that were already having issues that caused problems. So the owners have actually filed a lawsuit, and now they're coming out with the recall.
The vehicle owners have filed a lawsuit against Ford.
Yeah, there's a class action lawsuit on this recall.
And so now Ford's issued a recall.
Yep.
This is actually, I've heard that there have been a lot of recalls on the EcoBoost engine. So you're driving an EcoBoost.
I'm driving one. I got 200,000 miles on that EcoBoost, and it's been
already.
It's been a great car.
You only got that in like
2018.
Yeah. Well, I've only got 120,000 miles on my Ford F-150.
Well, we do all these cruises and all these events every weekend. I got to drive across town every weekend. And now you want to go across country with the Mustang Club of America.
Well, right, we're dragging you around now. But I've never seen you on a cruise. What are you talking about? I've seen you riding with other people on a cruise.
Yeah.
I haven't seen you out there with your car.
Daily driving, that's a daily driver, 200,000 miles on it.
Well, going down to the work 20 and coming back every day.
Yeah. Also, EV news. Did you know the average?
Oh, wait a minute. We're going to cover EVs.
Well, just a small.
You're coming around. You're starting to like them.
No. Actually, this is probably the smallest amount of EV news I've done on podcasts.
What do you have? Let's hear it.
The average cost of the full coverage insurance in 23 was $2,000 annually for an EV. That's 10 to 100% more, depending on the model of a regular car. And
why is it more?
That's what I'm going to. What contributes to the higher EV car insurance premiums? The following factors. The EV has fewer components, but the components are more expensive to replace. The average price of an EV is more expensive than the average car. So that's directly affected. So that's Consumer Affairs estimated the average cost of replacing the EV battery is between $4,500 and $18,000. The Nissan, I've already looked this up, double-checked everything.
Wait, whoa, time out. The average cost of replacing an EV battery is between $4,500 and $18,000.
Yep.
That's a little bit of a price spread right there.
It gets even bigger.
All right.
Okay, the Nissan is $20,000, and the Ford Mach-E is around $40,000. That's what they're saying. I've checked that twice.
These are lithium batteries, right?
There's actually 3 different types of batteries, and I don't have that in front of me, but there are 3 different types of batteries for these cars. Now, I imagine the 4500 is probably the Chevy Bolt, I think they call it.
Yeah, good chance.
Yeah, because it's
all I remember about that is
it's the lowest price EV vehicle out there.
I was out there going through Amarillo, and I turned left, to go to New Mexico so we could get to Colorado, and out this desertous road was this Chevy electric vehicle sitting there on the side of that little bitty one, the Bolt, whatever they call it, sitting there on the side of the road. I was thinking, you need to put your solar panels out, man, because ain't nobody coming to help.
Yeah. Well, Elon Musk has kind of like got into this, the Tesla car insurance.
Oh, really? He started his own
He's starting his own insurance company. So he's going to insure. He says, okay, the prices are too high. We'll insure it here, too. So
that's a way to offset, get people to buy stuff.
Yep.
He's got the money to back himself there.
So that's about it with the recall and EV news.
Yeah, well, you got anything in club news? You know anything that's going on?
Club news. Let's see what we got here. Let me see if I can find my notes. Upcoming events. Sam Houston National Forest Cruise.
That's coming up like next weekend, right?
That's coming up August the 24th, Saturday at 8 o'clock. That's hosted by Northside Mustang Car Club. And that is going to start at 8 a.m. And it's going to be meeting at the Brookshire Brothers in Montgomery County.
No, Montgomery, Texas.
Montgomery, Texas. Yep. And
so that's open to any club. Anybody that's a member of any club that wants to just come out and take part. If you don't belong to a club, come on out and take part. And it doesn't matter what you're driving either. Yeah,
and for more information, you can call Vernon.
Vernon Wilhelm.
Yep, it's 573-931-3264.
Call him at 1 a.m. He likes that.
Yeah. And another one that's coming up that everybody loves, and that is the 16th Annual Halloween Classic Car Show.
Charles Williams puts that show on.
Yep. That's going to be October the 5th, 9 a.m. at the National Museum of Funeral History. Fun place to go, right?
I need to go down there. I've never been there. It's right down, I believe, off 45 around AirTech somewhere. Yeah. I've seen pictures. There's some pretty cool-looking stuff in there.
Well, everybody decorates the car for Halloween. I think there's actually trophies for best decoration for the cars.
Yep, they dress up in their little costumes.
And he gets quite a few cars there.
He always gets a good turnout.
So that's a good one.
We need to get Charles. Charles, you need to come into the studio now.
I've asked him a couple of times, and he's like, I'm just so busy kind of thing. You got to come here, though.
That's why he retired, because he stays busy. Come on, Charles.
Next one we have is Caffeine and Chrome at the Gateway Classic Cars. That's in Houston. This is free to the public, free to bring your car out. Let's see what we got.
Is that the one on the south side?
August 31st. No, this is on 1960.
Okay.
At the
Gateway Classic.
Cyper Station Drive, right off of 1960 and 45. So you can go in there and look at their cars that they got for sale and show off yours at the same time. And then what we got? The 15th Annual Fall Open Car Show. This is at Silsbee Ford.
Yeah, the one over at Silsbee.
Yeah, and guess who's going to be the DJ?
No clue.
So
I'll do my best.
Okay, and that's going to be in Silsbee, Texas. That's hosted by the Wild Horse Mustang Car Club. Let's see, that's Highway 96N.
Yeah,
north.
Yeah, north. That's always a fun show. The people are all just laid back, easy to get along with, and it's just they're a fun group over there.
Yeah, and it's an open car show, so all cars are welcome.
Yep.
And then we have this one's a new one. I don't usually announce this one. It's Champion Hot Rod Car Club. They've been around for 11 years.
I didn't realize that.
I just heard for couple of years,
What's the gentleman's name? Brian something?
Brian Sims.
Yeah, that's right.
So maybe Brian can, if he's watching this, he can come on the show. Talk about the Champion Hot Rod Car Club. They're supposed to be right here in Conroe somewhere.
Okay, I didn't know that either.
I did not. So this is going to be on a Sunday. This is October the 6th, and it's going to be at the Rocks Bar. Where is
On the Rocks?
On the Rocks, yeah, on the Rocks Bar. Yeah, okay, and that's going to be 8905 Luetta.
Dude, your parents live down that way. You know the names of these streets.
Yeah, it's in Spring, Texas, so it's got to be Luetta. So open to all makes and models. $35 entry fee.
Entry free.
Entry
fee.
Going to the Tomball Logs Scholarship Fund.
All right.
So
good cause.
Yep.
Okay. So that takes you through when? On the end of October for car shows, or
that takes us in the middle of October.
In the middle of October. Okay. And then I know there's one November 2nd, which we've announced multiple times. We can announce it again later sometime. Yeah. So
hope we might even have Berlin on the show to talk about it.
Yeah, we might be able to get him away from his work.
Yeah.
Could happen. He's always at work, so. All right, I think, do you have anything else?
No, I think that's it for right now for the news.
Well, I think we should maybe give some station recognition here. This is Car Club. This is Cruisin Car Club Talk on Lone
it's
Star.
Catching on, huh?
Yeah, I'm going to get it one of these days. This is Cruisin Car Club Talk on Lone Star Community Radio at 104.5 and 106.1 FM, or for you Globetrotters out there, you can stream us over the internet at irlonestar.com, on Facebook or on YouTube. I'm Randy Weldon.
I'm Robert Helmer, and we'll be right back.
Car enthusiasts of Conroe, FM 104.5 and 106.1 Lone Star Community Radio invites you to shift into gear every Monday from 1 to 2 with Cruisin Car Club Talk with Robert and Randy for news on all things automotive in the greater Houston-Conroe area. Can't make a live show? We've got you covered. You can find all of our uncut content, including full episodes on Spotify, iTunes, Play Store, YouTube, Facebook, and irlonestar.com. Again, that's Mondays 1 to 2, Cruisin Car Club Talk with Robert and Randy. See you there.
And we're back with appreciation for you spending time this afternoon to cruise in for Car Club Talk with Robert and Randy. Our guest this segment is Tim Abbott of Tim's Twisted Garage. And Tim, we welcome you to the studio. We've got your son-in-law Keith, I think, over here. You're a social media guru, right? All right. We can't thank you enough for coming into the studio. Robert, I'm going to let you take the lead here. You found this guy as you were roaming around the Texas Elite Auto Show this weekend.
We've known each other, though, a long time, though. His wife used to be the president of Conroe Cruisers, and we used to go to car shows together, so had a long history there.
Now, I'm surprised that he came in based on that.
Right. Yeah, it's funny. We cover them a lot, don't we?
Yeah.
But yeah, he was at the NRG this weekend at the Texas Elite Showcase, and there he was with two beautiful cars.
I did look at the pictures. I got to ask. I mean, were those Packards, both of them, or?
No, the one was a 32 Packard Twin Six, and the other one was a 31 Hudson Boat Tail.
Hudson.
The Boat Tail, yeah. The Boat Tail was not quite red, maroon.
Maroon.
Yeah, it was gorgeous. Both of those were gorgeous.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes.
So there he was between the two cars going, "Hey, I know you." And I'm like, "Hey, I know you too." First of all, what did you think about the show?
I thought it was great. I mean, number one, it was inside. You were August,
right.
So that's always great,
That's
But I mean, overall, the way they put it on, the award ceremony, all that, everything was really, really good.
I didn't get to stay with the award ceremony, so I didn't see how
Well, it's really good when you win a trophy and they give you $500 cash.
Oh, yeah, that's always nice.
And that's another thing. They were actually giving, like, I think $1,000 also and $500, right?
And $5,000 was the grand prize.
Didn't Jackie Hansen wander off with $5,000? The guy with the Nova.
No, the guy that won the $5,000 had a Rolls Royce up on the very front.
Oh, okay, I seen that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, Jackie, you still took home some cash, so you're buying some Dr. Pepper or something.
I could never find Jackie. I found the car, but I could never get a hold of him. So, but it was really surprising seeing the cars that you were around, and how did you get involved in these cars?
Well, about 8 years ago, I had a construction company, and I was doing a job for a guy in uptown or midtown Houston, and he told me, I think I'm going to start retiring and I want to start building some cars. Well, I built cars my whole life.
Right.
But, he started coming to me with these Willis cars that he wanted to build and stuff, and so we just basically started restoring cars.
Yeah.
So that's what I've basically been doing every day for 8 years since. And so he just keeps getting higher end and higher end. I mean, with the Willis cars are nothing like a Packard, okay?
No,
So,
or the Camaro that you were known for, right? You still have it.
yes, still have the blown 69 Camaro, 700 horsepower.
That's a gorgeous car.
Yes, it
I
is.
saw that on your Facebook
But
page.
in storing these cars, you can't do like you do with the Camaro. It's like, okay, I need a fender. Let me get online and find a fender
No,
real
you're,
quick.
you're having to
No,
you're
a
having
lot
to
of-
build parts for this.
Right, a lot of parts you have to build, a lot of parts you have to find if you can find a donor car or find some. Most of the parts that you would find for like a Packard or a Willis or a Hudson are going to be north. So you have to have the connections. I mean, I have
Right.
people that I talk with them East Coast to West Coast, north to south, trying, for parts. And sometimes you can find them, sometimes you have to take someone else's part and have another one made.
Yeah.
You know.
Is there any kind of forum, website that everybody kind of like gets
Yeah,
in contact
so
with?
basically, let's say you're into the Packards, you would join the Packard Car Club because a guy that's in the Packard Car Club is not going to sell you a part unless you're part of the club. That's just
okay.
kind of the way it is.
I like it.
You got to be the in crowd, right?
like it.
So, but then once you're in that club, like the Willis Club is really good about this because the Willis Club every year puts out a book that tells you who all's in the club and what cars they own. So if you're building a 31 Willis, then there's the other guy has 3 of them. You might call him and say, hey, I'm looking for this part.
Right.
Now, he may live in New York City. He may live in Virginia. You don't know, but that way you can get a hold of him and maybe get the parts there. Or maybe he knows somebody that has some.
Right.
So it works out pretty good.
That's a good way to find cars too. If you
Sure.
want a certain model, certain year.
Right. If let's say you don't own a Packard car, but you want one, if you join a Packard club, you probably find one for sale.
That's good.
That's a good way.
Yes.
And it's a small family of people across the country, right?
The Willis Car Club is like 2,000 people, but we're all over the world.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
they come
man.
from Great Britain and Australia. The last meet we had, we were in Ohio, and we had 8 people from Great Britain and 4 people from Australia, plus everybody all across the United States. So.
Do you find that you mentioned getting parts from the East Coast or the West Coast? Do you find that there are parts houses that have collected these old car parts on an East Coast or a West Coast?
Yeah, okay. So most of it is going to be East Coast because that's where the cars were built. You're in Detroit, you're in Michigan, whatever. So you're going to be further north or further east than where we're at, basically. And it's basically a matter of finding a part from an individual, not really like someone that has a bunch of parts, like a warehouse or something. You may find somebody that has light switches and stuff like that, but as far as a part that's really hard to find, you're going to wind up getting that from an individual.
You're not going to find a barn find down here in Texas with one of those cars. Then.
No, you're not going. No, you're not going to find that. No, definitely not.
Well, if you look at some of the other pictures on Tim's Facebook page, you might find anything, I think, here in Texas, but it's pretty much covered with dirt, and you're having to excavate it.
Right.
Yeah, that's
Right.
right. I've done
Like,
that.
hey,
I've
another
done that.
dinosaur find.
Yeah.
There you go. That's right.
Can we throw some of those pictures up there?
I'm assuming Dick's throwing those up there in the forest.
Yeah. And I think the blue one you said was worth about $700,000.
Yes, that's what they call a twin six Packard. So they're kind of limited on the amount that they made. Now, Clark Gable, that was his favorite car because
that's the blue one right there.
because it's very elegant. It had plenty of power and it's just so smooth. I mean, that car running down the road 70 miles an hour is smoother than most of them you drive nowadays.
Is it really?
Yeah.
It's got that good of a ride to it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And he said it's easy to turn.
Oh
You
yeah,
would, you would think that thing would
no, you
take
can
you all day to turn.
right. You can palm the steering
Yeah,
wheel
you
just
would
like a
think.
new car.
You would think.
It's really good, really easy.
Was that an award sitting on the front of there that you got at the
The
Texas
round,
Racing?
yes,
Yeah.
that's the award for
Oh, the
top
top
100
100.
There
for
were
that
really
car.
some nice
So
looking
now-
awards there.
That award for that car, top 100, it don't sound very good, but 275 cars.
Right.
So that's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
And then the other one was the only award for a 30s model car, and that the Packard won it.
Oh, fantastic.
And there was over 30 cars in that one.
So this is some of the stuff that you're doing around the garage right now.
This was a truck I built for a friend of mine.
Okay.
The garage built for a friend. That's it. Finished.
That's the final product.
Was
Yeah.
that 72, 71?
No, it's an 86 Chevrolet
It's an
truck.
86?
Okay, so that truck right there we built without the guy knowing it that we were giving to him. It was a pastor friend of mine. That was the same color, same year model, same body style truck he had when him and his wife first got married.
Can we bring up the Camaro?
I love that
Sure.
body style,
Camaro.
by the way.
Yeah. There we are. There's your.
Oh, man. Neighbors love you, don't they?
Yeah.
And then see, we painted the new one to look like the old one.
Yeah. So
I like it.
When did you finish that Camaro?
15 years ago.
15
It's been
years
a
ago.
while.
Yeah.
We're fixing to actually redo it. We're fixing to repaint it and all that stuff this year. So I tell you a funny story about the other one.
That's a
In the
671 blower on that.
871.
871.
871 with a 454 bored out to 468,
Nice.
and it'll move. Of course, we all know that.
Yeah.
Anybody's been around it. The other car, we bought brand new 2010 Camaro, and we were going to change the color of the paint. It was competition, or it was what's the orange? Inferno orange, which was totally different than that color. So we were trying to figure out what color to paint it. My body guy's ready to paint it, and I told my wife, I said, I need to know what color to do this car.
Yeah.
So she unplugs her blow dryer and hands it to me and says, paint it this color, which
You're
was that
kidding.
copper color. So I took that to
how
the
that happened?
paint shop.
I took the blood
Said,
dart.
said mix paint to match this, and that's what we did. So
Wow.
we call that the blow dryer car.
You got to love mixing and matching paint in the computer age.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's a lot easier now than it was years ago, I'm sure.
Oh, it is.
Well, Keith, tell us a little bit about what you do for them.
Oh well, I don't get dirty, so I don't like to get my hands dirty. I don't like to get the oil and all that stuff on my hand. No, I'm just kidding. I like to watch, and I'm learning from him. But I do the social media because now you don't need back in you used to need websites, you needed all that stuff and business cards. Now you don't need that stuff. Social media is the thing
Right.
now. Even for when we go to a dinner or something like that, we don't look at the restaurant website. We just go to like an Instagram or TikTok or a Facebook, and you see what the menu is right now when you're going to walk into the place. So same kind of thing with this. You can see what he's working on right now on our social media and what he's what the next thing's coming up. Or
So you have
kind of
more people communicate with you social
Yeah.
media wise that way.
Yeah.
How to get a hold of y'all and
Yeah.
what do y'all do?
It's
and-
building, and his building is getting more traction now. Now that Tim, when he goes to these shows, he's getting more traction. He's kind of putting that out there now,
Yeah.
pushing the social media part. So that helps get the word out that way too. That way, yeah. I know we're still kind of caught up in the old way, but trying to get the new technology.
Yeah, you
pushing,
gotta evolve.
Gotta
That's
come
right.
around.
So
Yeah.
when he's down there with the wrench,
I'm watching.
throwing it or busting a knuckle or something like that, you're over there filming something.
I'm recording just like earlier when we were
Tim,
taking
can you
pictures.
do that again?
Redo it, yeah. Do it again, yeah. Slip again, yeah. But yeah.
Do you have the picture of me welding? Did you steal that one off my site?
I don't think I took that one.
Everybody's
the one
seen
you're
that.
talking about.
Everybody's seen that
look,
picture.
back up one.
There we go.
No,
That's not you
no,
welding, but
that's
that's
not
the
me
one
welding.
picture I
that
took.
looks like an old flathead.
That's actually a Hudson Terraplane. It's a
Yeah.
straight six. It
Straight
is flathead.
six.
It is a
Yeah.
flathead, but it's straight six. The one of me welding that he walked in the shop and took a picture and walked out. And I thought, what's he doing? I'm over here welding on this car.
Yeah.
And then he posted it, and I mean, people were all over the place. Man, that's the neatest picture I ever seen. Because the way the welding sparks and all that look, I said, I'm just working, man. I
Right.
don't know. But he's pretty good about taking pictures and stuff. I've seen him turn upside down and bend over backwards and everything else to take pictures. So.
Yeah, and I just try to do my part. Like I said, I'm learning little things. But
Well,
he's
your
got a lot
part
of
is to
experience.
bring the people in.
Yeah, get the attention.
So
yeah.
next thing you know, he's over there underneath a car, want to know why there's 10 or 15 people outside.
That's the thing. That's the idea.
There you go.
That's the idea, is to get people excited. Get people excited.
The free beer sign didn't hurt.
Yeah. It's nice to give a hand to help and kind of bring the new in.
There it is, right there. That's the one I'm talking
Oh, is
about.
that the one?
Yeah, see, I mean, people comment all the time on that, and I'm welding an exhaust manifold.
Yeah.
I
I'm
just
working.
realized that. Yeah, now that I look at it, I see
Yeah,
it. Yeah.
it's just But anyway,
Yeah.
So what is your workload like right now? Are you like 2 years behind, 3 years behind?
no, I try not to do that. I mean, I have 7 vehicles in my shop right now. I mean, the thing about it is my deal is I love cars, which, you know, kind of I think everybody that's in this industry does. It's not like this is what you want to do for a living. You love doing it.
Yeah.
And I love meeting the people that, okay, this was their dad's car or this was their mom's car. I'm restoring a Ford, good Lord, never going to remember, Torino right now. This car belonged to this guy's wife. She just passed away 3 months ago. He wants it so he can drive it. Well, of course, you know, when you get in that car, it's like you're in there with her.
Right.
That's it. You know, I did a 28 Dodge Brothers for a guy about a year or so back. This guy was, you know, the Marine, you know, the man's man guy, you know, I mean, he rebuilt helicopters and stuff, you know. When he come to pick the car up, he's crying, you know, because it was his dad's car that he bought brand new. The dad dated the mom in the car, you know, the whole time they got married, kept the car. Well, the dad's passed away, so now he's going to take the car to his mom and drive her around.
Yeah.
You know, so that's what I love is being able to make that happen for people.
Yeah, and the stories
you know?
out there like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, it's not always about the money and about, you know, of course, yeah, it's about the money. You know, everybody's got to have money, but I mean, you know,
live. Yeah.
but just having that is just, it's a lot more fun. Or bringing the car alive when it's been dead for 50 years.
Right.
You know, I did a Stearns Knight, which is a car we're fixing to restore, had not been started since 1950. Took me 3 days, got it running, drove it down the road 50 miles an hour, you know, and all that. I mean, it's just neat when something comes alive that's been dead for that long.
Right. There were some pictures up there where it looked like you seriously were like digging some of these cars out of a pile of dirt. I mean, you know.
Yeah. I don't know about that one right there in the middle, the floorboard. That's the trunk of a car that we restored. That sat in a field in California, and they sprayed fertilizer on it for 15 years. The 37 Hudson Terraplane.
It's a wonder there's anything there.
Well, once we restored it, we took it to Kills and Wheels, won first place in its class.
Oh,
wow.
So yeah, it's
So that
like
says a lot about your
yellow.
work.
Oh yeah, so you see the car. Okay, so the floor pan's 9 pieces. I had to hand form 7 of them.
Yeah.
I had it on rotisserie for 8 months.
And you're talking about the stories like that, and that's what
Right.
people don't, you know, they don't understand this car culture and why everybody cares about these cars. It's like
that's finished.
when you hear these stories and the passion that people have for these cars and the
That's
memories.
right.
And it's a little bit what you get at car shows too, when you
Right.
walk around and listen to
That's
people
right.
at car shows and you hear the stories, and it's like, you know,
Yeah.
you just get walked away and very moved.
Right. Well, I mean, the thing about it is, it's just like, you know, my dad had an old truck. If I had that same year model truck, I would never build that truck because it was a 72 Chevrolet and it was mustard yellow. Okay, I'm just not going to do it. Okay. But anyway, let's say I built that truck. I'm driving down the road. What am I be thinking about? You know, my dad. You know, because he's driving. I'm sitting in his lap. I'm 5 years old driving down the road. Yeah. You know what I mean? I mean, we did it every single weekend. You know. And so everybody, when you have a connection to that car, it doesn't even have to be the actual original car, just one that's that era, you know, that same style and all that stuff. You kind of go back to that, you know. And I mean, it's just like my daughter. You know what? I had a '76 GMC truck. I pulled in the driveway. That had 44-inch tires on the back. So, you know, the truck, you know how they used to set, you know, with the little bitty tires on the front, big ones on the back. Well, you know, I pulled in the driveway from work all day. Well, I had to take her for a ride. It's time to go. Come on, she run outside. Let's go, you know. And it's just like, you know, it's just, I don't know. I just love vehicles, but I also love all the stories and everything. And the way people will react when you're done with that car, when they've been waiting so many years to have it done. You know, you get some really neat reactions sometimes.
How do you interview your clientele before you decide to work for somebody?
No, not really. I mean, you know, we haven't got that big yet. We may start doing that one day, but no. I mean, the thing about it is when someone comes to me and goes, "Hey, man, you know, I want to do this car." Okay, so I did a '72 Chevrolet truck for a guy. He went to TCU University, graduated from there. So their colors are purple and white. So we did the truck purple and white. So, you know, and he got the truck. I mean, he loved it. I mean, he, you know, texted me, "Man, this thing's great to drive," and all this stuff, you know. Well, when you do something for somebody like that, you know, it's kind of amazing to me, the reactions, you know, because that's something that they're not, you know, exaggerating. You know, that's the way they feel, you know. And I mean, I've had people just give me hugs and everything when you give them their car. Right. You know, because it's just like it's been so long waiting on this thing. It's not where you go buy a new Corvette and you drive out, you know, yeah, it's great, you know what I mean? But Joe down at the corner's got the same car. You know
Right.
what I mean? When you drive the car that you've been having restored for a year and a half, and you go drive that down the road, you're not going to see another one.
Yeah.
You
And it's
know?
the same thing with the passion of the very first car you've ever had.
Oh, yes. That's right.
Because we review a lot of the first ofs.
Right.
You know, people have stories of their first car. I've got a story of my first '67 Mustang when I was in high school. So
Really? Wow. See,
Yeah.
that's great. Yeah.
So-
So that's what it was, a 67 Mustang?
'67 Mustang, and I had a lot of
See?
fun with that.
It's the
See,
Chevy and Ford thing. See,
Yeah.
mine was a 66 Chevelle, 396.
See, I had a 64 and a half Mustang, which I wish I wouldn't have sold.
Yeah, there you
But
go.
considering I lived in Oak Ridge and went to school here in Conroe, which is like a 13-mile drive, I had to work on it pretty much every weekend to get to and from school. And a lot of times, trying to get to and from school, I had to work on it. So,
yeah.
those are
Well,
my
that's the way it
memories.
goes. Yeah.
How many of your clientele are actually just turning these cars?
Oh, none of them.
None of them. They're
No,
all
not
keep.
Build to
none
keep,
of 'em.
man.
None of
They're
them.
all the keep.
Build for the collection.
No, the one of my main guys, he's basically building a collection is what he's doing. And then everybody else, this is a car they always wanted, or like I say, one that like they had or something, But no, nobody. I don't do work for anybody that just flipping them, just doing no.
Well, I mean, the money's there. I mean,
Oh, sure, you
like
can
you're
do
talking
it.
about that one for 700,000.
Oh, sure.
That's a
sure.
lot of money.
And the thing of it is, you can only base the price of a car on who's in the audience when you're selling it.
Right.
Okay. Now you can look at this car sold, and that's what I base that price on, because one sold last year in California for that.
Right.
The same car. Now I don't know if it was that good a car. I mean, you could eat off the bottom of that one. You know what I mean? But still, that's kind of what you got to base the price on. You know, because it's hard for people to ask me all the time, how much is this car worth? It's kind of a loaded question.
Barrett Jackson pretty much spoiled everybody.
Oh yeah.
When it came on there and everybody and all these prices were going sky high, and everybody else think, okay, my car's worth $50,000 now
That's
because Barrett Jackson sold one.
That's right. Well, see, I actually restored a Roadster for a guy. It was that Willis Roadster, and we thought it was worth $80,000. And we got all done. And he come to me and he said, this car's worth way more than $80,000. I said, well, what do you mean? He said, one just sold yesterday for $290.
Yeah.
I said, okay, I need another check.
That's right. So I didn't charge enough. So
Yeah, there you go.
what
That's
you're telling me.
right. No.
Well, I think a lot of this is that you can't assess any price on the sentimental value of what you
Well,
you can't.
That's the thing. I mean, especially if you have the vehicle that you owned or your dad owned or whatever, I mean, when you get behind that wheel going down that road, I mean, what's it really worth? What's that really worth to go, man, I remember when I was 8 years old and I was sitting on my dad's lap driving this down the road, especially if it's the original one, or even if it's just one like it, it just takes you back to those times, and those are great times. I mean, what's a greater time than when you were a kid doing something like that, you know? You were being a big boy, because I stand up here and hold the wheel and drive down the road, cars coming at you, but I can do it anyway, But I mean, it's just great. I mean, it's I don't know. You can't put a price on stuff like that.
No,
you
you
can
can't.
put a price on a lot of stuff, but you can't put a price on that.
No, that's absolutely true.
And the price is where anybody's willing to give you for it.
Well, that's true too. That's right. That's exactly right.
There's a lot of truth in that. My memories of my dad's Chevy truck are pretty much him coming in, waking me up about 5 o'clock. Come on, it's time to go to work. Throw me in that truck and drag me off to work
There you go.
and home in the afternoon. No air conditioning.
Oh no.
Here in Houston, great memories.
Yeah.
I used
Now you can't even think about having a car with no AC right now.
No, not even a hot rod. You don't want one with no AC. Well, my dad's work truck, he had a toolbox on the back right by the window. I used to lay on that in the summertime because I'd work with him all summer long doing framing. And I'd lay on that toolbox on the way home.
Oh, wow.
Now, how dangerous was that? How many tickets would you get nowadays?
You
what I mean?
wouldn't make it all the way home.
No way. And then when I was a little bitty kid, my mom had this Buick LeSabre, and I could lay in the back window.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I'd lay on there all the time when I was a kid,
Especially on long trips.
Oh, yeah.
Get back there on the
I can remember, because I'm from northwestern Pennsylvania, but I can remember going up to Lake Erie and being caught in a traffic accident where I saw somebody had been laying in the back window, up there on the whatever they call that.
Package tray.
Yeah, and yep, they got thrown right out the window. Laying there right there on the street. It's like, oh, this is cool. As a kid, you want to see that stuff, right?
That's it.
Your parents like, Chloe, cover your eyes.
So
Sure,
what's in the future plans for you?
Well, I mean, I'd like to be a millionaire, but I don't think that's gonna happen. No, everybody asks me, man, you're getting old. When you gonna retire? I'm gonna retire when they take the wrench out of my hand and put me in a casket.
Well,
that's
I'm just
pretty
thinking,
much it.
okay, how many? Do you have any helpers that will help?
Yeah, there's 3 of us all together. But
Three
yeah,
of
I
y'all,
need to
okay.
expand.
Okay.
I'm fixing to add on to my shop and do a little expansion, But it's just got to come as I go.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna, go build any.
So we're not talking about
200,000 square foot.
retirement anytime soon.
No,
we're
no,
talking
no.
about expanding and actually.
Oh yeah,
getting bigger.
expanding and just go. I mean, the thing of it is, I can the way I have it right now, I can kind of be selective on whose cars I want to do or whatever, because of the one client I have that's a constant client.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't really have to advertise. I don't have to do any of that.
Oh, that's good.
But and we've been going 8 years now, so it's pretty good. Doing it the way I'm doing it now. But eventually there'll be a time where I'll have to be a full blown advertisement and stuff. We're already trying to do some of that now, not because we have to, just to get out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, but
So-
you're making connections all across the country, so
Right.
eventually you're getting that reputation already. You probably
yeah.
won't, you probably won't have to advertise because you're going to be as busy as what you can keep up with.
Right. That's exactly right.
So no chance of saying, oh yeah, I want to go back to construction.
No, I was in construction my whole life, and
When he was in construction, he had a 6-pack.
Yep. Yeah.
That's the first time I met him. He was coming up with those tight shirt.
well, there was another life. Okay, I used to spend a lot of time in the
So
gym.
evidently
That
these
doesn't
wrenches
happen
are a little
anymore.
bit lighter.
A little bit lighter.
bit
Yeah,
lighter.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, the thing about construction is you're it's too much competition, and it's not like you're competing against the same. You're competing against someone that doesn't have all the stuff that insurance wise and stuff like
Right.
that. That we're
Yep.
I mean, it's just you just can't compete. And number one, and then number two is just I don't want to leave the house. Why don't you just walk 50 yards out there to my shop and we'll go to work? You know
Right.
what I mean?
I
mean,
just-
it's
I
a lot easier.
I took metal shop and wood shop and all that, but I could put 100 nails in something and it would fall apart as soon as I took my hands off. That's how good I am at construction.
Well, I built houses East Coast to West Coast, did apartments, everything, man. At one time, I mean, I flew probably 20 days out of the month, and I got sick and tired of it. I mean, I had 30 employees at one time. It's just like, man, this is too much.
Yeah.
Well, like you say, there's something to be
Way
said
too
for
much.
just walking out the back door and getting to the shop.
Yeah, but there's also something to be said when you're out there at 10 o'clock at night and your wife goes, "Hey, dinner time." That was already 4 or 5 hours
That's
ago,
right.
wasn't it?
Yeah. Then you get to hear the speech about it was warm at one time.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I've
My wife's
kept it
pretty
warm
good.
for you. Kept it warm for you. I was like,
Yeah, but you're already successful because you're already doing something you love.
Oh yeah, that's the thing. I mean, I wouldn't trade this for anything really. I mean, because the thing of it is when you can go out there and work for 10 hours and you want to work more.
Right.
It's not because I need to get the job
No,
done. It's
you-
because I enjoy it. You
Right.
know, like when I'm trying to get an engine to run or something, man, no, there's no limit. I just go till it finally
Till it
starts up,
finally
and then I go,
starts.
yep, it's time to go to bed, 2:00.
it's like me with what I do. It's like you're not going to beat me.
Oh yeah,
You're not going
yeah,
to beat me
yeah,
on this one.
yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only thing with Randy though, he keeps weird hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, his productive hour is 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, well,
Yeah. Well, sometimes I'm that way too.
I do keep those strange hours.
Yeah.
But I'm not a morning person.
No,
so.
he's not. You call him at 8 o'clock in the morning. And he's like, "I'm just now getting up. Call me back in an hour."
If I'm that nice to you when I answer the phone.
Yeah.
Well, Tim, we're going to ask Keith,
All right.
how do we find you guys?
You can find us on Instagram and Facebook, and we're the Tim's Twisted Wrench Garage. And like I said, we're gonna do more things too with more interactive stuff, more things where we can do giveaways, things, not giveaways, but just things where can I get more interaction with the
More interaction with the customers.
Be giving away,
Right.
rebuild engines. And,
Well,
right?
I say I don't say I say my dad. He makes these amazing sculptures out of like parts from the. He can make these. He made trophies for us for our car shows before, and they're just with just random tools and old things. So maybe we do something like that, a giveaway like that at some point where he makes something custom.
Yeah, those are always
for
nice when they're
giveaway.
custom built like that.
Yeah, we do. Like we did a car show. My daughter and son-in-law put on the car show or got it all together. I just showed up for the helping the animals, So we try to do stuff, from my shop, to do kind of stuff like that. And so when we do that, or if I go to another car show and we want to bring a trophy, then I'll hand build something like that, And it's kind of, a lot of people would rather have that than something you just go buy off.
They would.
And
Yep.
everybody else
Something
got,
custom and special.
So it's just, I get tired of twisting wrenches because I actually heat it up with a torch and twist them and make something like that.
Right.
That's why. And they turn out pretty cool, I think. But
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think the biggest one I ever made was about 3.5 foot, so that was kind of neat. But anyway.
As long as you don't give away the crankshafts, the really heavy things
Well,
you can't already pick up.
Yeah, right. No, I don't really want to do that.
first
Here, you
place
have the
trophy
rear
of the year.
axle. Here's
Yeah.
a 9-inch Ford for you.
Well, we're going to have to scoot out of here to give some station recognition, but we can't thank you enough for coming in.
Not a
Tim
problem.
Abbott, Keith, what's your last name?
Amador. Keith
Amador.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Appreciate y'all guys coming in.
No problem.
And
Not a
it's,
problem.
it's Tim's Twisted Wrench Garage
Tim's Twisted
on
Garage.
Facebook or Instagram. All right, this is Cruising Car Club Talk on Lone Star Community Radio. I'm Randy Weldon. That's Robert
I'm
Helmer.
Robert Helmer.
Say it again.
Robert Helmer, and we'll be right back.
I walked all over you, man.
Yeah.
Listen in Mondays at noon to hear Conroe news from local nonprofits, businesses, upcoming events, Conroe Park events, news stories, and information that matters to you with your host, Margie Taylor of Taylorized PR. For more information about being a guest, visit irlonestar.com/Conroe Culture.
We are back again with another segment of Cruising Car Club Talk, the #1 car talk podcast in Conroe, from the east side of the courthouse to the west side of the courthouse, north and south sides. We've got the whole block covered. You are listening to Cruising Car Club Talk with Robert and Randy here on Lone Star Community Radio, broadcasting on FM 104.5 and 106.1, or if you're a Globetrotter out there, irlonestar.com, on Facebook and on YouTube. This segment, we've got Chris Josey with Josey's Racing Team. And Chris, we appreciate you drove up here, I think, from League City, somewhere down there.
From Lamarck, Texas.
From Lamarck. So
Yeah.
you had quite a you got both sides of 45. You got the south side trying to get into town, and the north side trying to get out of town.
Exactly.
Well, we can't thank you enough for driving up here. You've been one heck of a person to know. Very glad I met you a couple of years ago, and you were a Northside Club member. I guess you still are. And you headed up, or have headed up, the drag racing committee for Northside Mustang Car Club. Haven't had a lot of people come out. That's normal. A lot of people talk. Very few people get off the couch. And I think to that point, though, how did you actually get started in this?
This originally started for me when I was a baby. My dad and uncles been taking me to the track, before I can even crawl. I got two uncles that both of them were drag racers. My dad was actually a former drag racer. So it just, me growing up around the sport, it was just bound to happen for me.
Well,
I just fell in love with it the first day.
One of my favorite things in meeting you is meeting your uncles. And Chris is like, "These are my uncles, Joe."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Okay, Joe and Joe."
Yeah, I got three uncles, two in particular that's raced. That's my uncle Joe T. He's the main one that helps me out, and that's mainly who got me into it, because I grew up wanting to be like him. Then I got my oldest uncle, it's my Uncle Wilson. He has a 65 Mustang, which a lot of people don't know. That car was originally my Uncle Joe's car
Oh, was it?
before he got his 71 Maverick.
Got that Maverick, man.
Yeah, I think I met all of them in Baytown. I think y'all had both cars there.
Yeah, we had my car and my Uncle Joe T's car,
Yeah.
his Maverick.
So it's a family affair.
Yes.
So your dad and your uncles got you started.
Yes.
Ever since you were a kid. You've been wrenching on cars that long.
I would say it started when I did kind of play around with it with my uncle whenever he worked on his race car. We always come over there. That was our hangout spot, was his house. Mainly for me, it was mainly because he had a race car. But when I really got off into it, I say around when I got in high school, when I got my first car, I had an '89 Mustang that did some work to it. My uncle was showing me some of the stuff that I can do and how to do some of the stuff. So I was able to pick up some of the stuff I know.
That was your first car?
Yes.
It was an '89, so '89 was still a Fox body.
Yes.
Yeah. And you started off with what size engine in that?
It was just the stock 302. I did somewhere I changed the cam, put a nice little cam in there. I changed the intake, and did some header work and some head work, and that's about it.
So we stayed forward, right?
Oh yeah, and that's what it's always going to be. It's always going to be forward.
Did you a terror around school once you learned to work on your car?
Not really.
No?
Honestly, not really. I have one particular friend that he started hanging out more with me because of that. He actually had a V6 Mustang, and we kind of just grew up together, racing each other. Then we both stepped into our next cars about our senior year, and it just never stopped.
So how many cars have you had gone through already now?
Well, my first one was the '89 Mustang. After I sold it, I got a 2003 Mustang Mach 1. And I probably had that one the longest. And while I still had it, I also had a 2008 Shelby GT500. Put a lot of work into that car. Then around the time I was getting ready to get the car I have now, that's when I sold off both of them.
Man, I'd love to have that 2003 Mach. I've got a 2000 Celine, so it's the same body style. But the Mach, they just blow me away with the engines.
Oh yeah, I enjoyed it. I did as much as I could with it because I kept it straight motor, and that's always been my thing. I like running straight.
Was that
motor.
the 3-valve 4.6?
It had a 4-valve in it.
4-valve. Okay. Well, that was what they call the Terminator motor.
Yeah, it was similar. It just didn't have the supercharger.
Didn't have the supercharger. Yeah, my Celine's absence of that too. So it's like
your uncles and your dad got you started, but I think, unless I'm mistaken, I've talked a little bit. You don't talk about it a lot, but some of this touches your heart and taking you back to the time when you and your dad spent together, and so a lot of your continuing racing, aside from your addiction to it, has a lot to do with your dad, doesn't it?
Yes.
And your dad passed away from cancer.
Yes.
And how long ago was that?
That was in 2016.
So you're kind of keeping his memory alive here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a memorial sticker made that sits on the back of my car that I try to keep it from peeling off, but over time it's slowly, so I'm gonna have to replace it eventually.
That's the good thing about stickers; they can be replaced. So that's why I went to a show one time. Chris came out to was it North Houston Cruisers that we used to judge for.
right.
Went to one of their shows. Chris came out, and I'm looking at that paint. I was like, Chris, where'd you get this painted? And I can't remember what you told me. I was like, what'd that cost? And he's like, $20,000 for the paint. It's like, yeah.
So this is not a cheap hobby. This is a very expensive hobby.
It can get. The faster you go, the more.
I mean, you got a beautiful trailer, and I've seen you on Facebook where you've been at a racetrack, and you say, "Oh, we blown the motor, so that's it for the night." And I'm like,
after round one.
Yeah.
By the way, yeah.
So I know you got the ups and downs, and then you got the expenses. So to keep going, this is something else.
Yeah. Like I said, the faster you go, the more you're going to end up spending on it. Especially like what I do. I do between bracket racing and also I like to do heads-up racing. So,
which pays the best?
It just depends on the event.
Okay.
It
'Cause
really depends.
I know you can make money in bracket racing a little bit. I don't know how big the purses are, but I think it's also in what area you're in, right?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, since we don't have nothing here in Houston, so now I have to travel out just
Right.
for me to compete now.
So what's the nearest place to go?
Currently, if you just want to run an eighth of mile, you can actually go right to Houston Motorsports Park,
Yeah.
which is right here, basically off of 59. not too
You're
far
right.
from
I
here.
don't know if there's much money in that track, and you got. I don't know how many people like running an eighth.
Yeah, if you want to go a quarter mile, you either have to go all the way up to Lufkin, Texas, or go out toward Evendale.
Oh, okay. Are they in the circuit?
Evendale, no. In Lufkin at Pine Valley Raceway, they are NHR race sanctioned.
That new track up there in Ennis along the freeway, that's an eighth mile, right?
Yes, it's
Yeah.
eighth mile.
Are they sanctioned with anybody?
They are sanctioned with the IHRA.
IHRA. You're licensed in both, right?
Yes.
Yeah. What Robert was asking questions about, but I think we've got a picture of you here holding a check for like $2,500. So almost covered gas to the event, right? That's,
Yeah. And that car right there, what year is that?
My current car is 93.
93?
93 LX.
How long have you had that?
I got it. Literally, I got it right before my dad passed.
Okay.
y'all did some swapping for that car, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I sold a Mach 1, and I also there was another car I had. I had an Alter, like a T23 Alter that it was just a roller, but I sold that, and I traded my GT500 for this.
Yeah. And what do you mean by a roller? That means with no engine, right?
Yeah, no engine. It had a transmission, it had a converter, tires, everything. It just didn't have a motor.
So who do we have in this picture right here? One of those guys is your Uncle Joe.
Yeah, the guy that's actually next to me is the Mike Murillo. He's from Street Outlaws. He's actually one of the guys that won the No Prep King season. I think it was season 2 or 3. I forgot which season was. He's also a 14-time track champ, and he's running everything from NMRA, you name it, Fun Ford, you name it.
Yeah. Do you change the engine out on depending what races you're in?
Not really. I just change my tune or my setup. If I have a particular setup for bracket racing, I have a particular setup for if I want to go index racing, and I also have a setup for when I go heads up racing.
Yeah. And what size motor's in there now?
I have a 402
402.
Yes.
Is that considered a big block or
small block.
still a small block?
It's a 351 Windsor base.
You last year when you blew up in one of those races, you ended up taking most of the year down getting the engine rebuilt. What are you running now? What times are you running?
I'm about the same, which I'm actually going out this Sunday because I was having some bugs. Even at that event I was at, I was having some bugs and a little issue, and I think I got them ironed out. I'm actually planning on going this Sunday just to test it out to see where I'm at, see if I made some improvement. Because I did, while the engine was down, I did replace a few things, and also I did have some intake work done to it.
Well, I didn't see you winning last year, so this year I'm seeing you collect checks. So there had to been some improvement in there.
Yeah.
It wasn't just your timing on the tree, right? What's it running, man?
I'd say if I really let it go, I should be around 560s.
That's a fast little car. That's at a quarter mile.
That's in the eighth.
That's in the
It's
eighth
an eighth
mile.
mile. Okay.
If I got the wrong converter for it right now, but if with my eighth mile times and just guessing if I had the right converter to run a quarter mile, I should be around 870s.
Yeah,
880s.
it's still a fast car.
Yeah.
Fast
But
for the weight of that car.
The bracket racing, though, the way it works is pretty strict, isn't it? You can't break out. You can't.
Yeah. The closer you can get to your time, the better. You can actually cross the finish line second and still win.
Right. But the thing is consistency. You have to run consistent all the time.
And that's one thing about this car, is super consistent in eighth mile. The last race I went to was in No Problem Raceway in Belrose, Louisiana, and I literally ran the exact same time, almost 5 every single
Yeah,
round.
that's great.
What do the people that want to race, especially the ones that we have in Northside Mustang Car Club, and other clubs that are listening, what do they need to know? People that want to come out and they just never have.
Just basically come. I mean, I know you're going to have the jitters. You're going to be nervous. But after that first pass, you shake off the dust and shake off the jitteries and anxiety and everything.
You're just sweating in line for your very first time.
You're going to be thinking it, try to role play it and think about it in your head. But once you make the first pass, you're going to say, okay, that was fun. I'm going to see how I can improve it. Maybe I can get the car to run better.
Yeah. We were out at Houston Raceway Park one time, and there was a guy that came out with his girlfriend, young guy, and his new Mustang. He got up on the starting line and had it all revved up, went to take off. He was in reverse. So did it the first time. He came back. He was pretty embarrassed. Get up there the second time, did the same thing. And after that, his girlfriend wouldn't sit with him the rest of the night in the suite we were in. But, yeah, that's part of the jitters.
Yeah, I think another thing is not to get discouraged. If you have a bad time, I've seen so many times where people have never been on the track before, think they got a really badass car, and not hook up, and just sit there and just, either their takeoff is terrible or their timing is, real low or real high, and they get discouraged, and they just leave. They don't want to do it anymore. It's not to do that. It's find out what tires stick, how to get that control, and how to do better and better, and go, instead of not coming back, go more and more. That's what you need to do.
Yeah, the more you go, and as you go, you learn your car. That's the big thing. You got to learn your car, and that's a lot of thing. One big thing a lot of people fail to realize is learning the car. And me, I actually like to try to learn the track to see how the track is. Like one thing I always do at every track I go to before the race starts or anything, I always go and just walk the starting line, get an idea of where's the groove at, where is it hooking, where I can put my tires at, where I can get the best traction.
Yeah. Do you see where they have one lane's better than the other?
There is times where it is like that.
Really?
I've been at several tracks where one lane I can run quicker and one lane be slower.
And why do you think that is?
It is track prep, and also depends on the time of the day. Sometimes if it's like a hot day and the sun is really beating down on the track, it starts to make it slick.
Yeah, people don't understand that weather conditions have a lot to do with this.
Big time.
Yeah. I'm going to go back again to the people that are still sitting at home and haven't come out to the track, but bottom line is, this is a sport anybody can show up, right?
We got kids you can be from 5 years old, they ever come out and race.
And if somebody is sitting at home and they want to come out, and let's say we've got an 18-year-old out there or a 17-year-old, they don't need much. I mean, just a pair of sandals and shorts, a T-shirt, tank top. You don't need a helmet.
They do have safety rules. You do need to have long pants, at least closed-toe shoes like regular shoes, and at least a regular shirt.
Yeah, if you're racing, yes.
Yeah, no
Okay,
tank tops.
I was being a little bit sarcastic, but bottom line is, you come out, you need a shirt. It doesn't have to be long sleeve, right? It can be short. It can be short sleeve.
Yes.
But no tank top. You're going to need long pants. You're going to need closed-toed shoes. Over a certain speed, you have to have a helmet, right?
Yes.
Any idea what that is?
In a quarter mile is once you hit, I want to say 13 seconds. You gotta have a helmet.
So anything under 13 seconds, you've got to have a helmet.
Helmet. Yeah. Once you start getting quicker, like low 11s to 10, they require a jacket. You can just a little one-layer fire jacket.
Yeah. And one thing also to put out there is support your local drag strip, because they're going away.
Yeah, they're going away. Mm-hmm.
So,
that's a shame. I don't think anybody in this room supports street racing.
Yeah, no. And that's where to take it. Take it to the track. But do support your track by attending. Go to the track and sit in the stands and watch, because they are going away.
To come out, your first time out, What do they expect? It's a $20 entry fee, basically, somewhere around there. It depends on the track, I know.
If you just coming out just to watch, the most you'll spend is 20, but average is 15.
Yeah.
Unless it's a big event, that's the only other time.
Right. It's not that expensive to go and have a good time.
What if we're going to enter our car and we're actually going to try to drag race?
Most track only charge about $20.
It's about $20 entry fee.
Yeah,
That gets your tech card. That's got you covered.
that's it.
And good family fun, right?
Oh yeah, I met majority of my friends and that I consider family from the track.
Yeah.
I think if you do it right, too, the chances of you hurting your car are pretty slim and next to none, aren't they?
Yeah,
Just going out there running it.
Unless you're really trying to beat on and everything. I mean, stuff happens, but you learn. Like I said, you learn quick if you need what you need to improve or what parts you need to upgrade.
You ever hear rumors of those guys that take rental cars out there? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've heard of that, too.
Actually, when I used to run the Fun Ford circuit, we had a guy. That's how he went to every single race.
With a rental car.
With a rental car.
Yeah, fly in, rent a car, race it, even win with it, and take it back.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, I was going into a track one time, and I shouldn't even admit this, but the girl's turning around to get my tech card, right? She's turned back around. She looks at me. She's handing it to me. She says, hey, in case this is a rental car, I just want you to know that alcohol will take those numbers off the side of that window better than anything else. I was like, oh, I'm busted, and I haven't even got in here yet. But it's a lot of good fun. You meet a lot of people. Your competitors in the pits are your friends. That becomes your family, right?
Yeah, you'd be surprised that, a lot of people don't see that part is the competitors actually will help you out more than anything. They want you to keep competing. Yeah. Win or lose, they want you to compete. They want to see you more. They cheer you on when you win, everything.
Just a really nice, really a family, family setting. Yeah. Well, Chris, how do people find you, man?
You can find me on Facebook with Josey's Racing Team, or I was working on a YouTube page, but it's not really where I wanted to be. But that's the main thing. Just find me on Facebook.
Just go on Facebook. I think we've got a link that we'll end up posting when this airs.
Yeah. Any shows you're going to be at that you can let everybody know?
Not sure. Like I said, I'm going this Sunday. I plan on going this Sunday to test. As far as the next show, I have to look at my work schedule to see when which next race is coming up for me.
Where are you at November 2nd?
That's a good
you on the
question.
boat? You work out on a boat, right?
Yes, I work offshore.
Yeah.
I have to check my schedule real quick.
I'm asking this for a reason because there's a north side show out of New Caney. And one of the things I always loved was seeing the little kids when they see that there's,
a race car there.
Are you in town or are you working?
I'll be off.
All right, dude, come on out. The fact when they see, especially your car, I mean, you've got the roll cage in there. Yours is an actual race car. It's built from the ground up as a race car. And to see little kids, to let the little kids see that it's, it's not all about some guy sitting in a lawn chair behind his car in the sun sleeping, but there's the fun of this also.
Yeah.
And especially if you're out there wearing your driving shoes and your fire suit or part of your fire suit. I know it gets a little warm.
Yes. But, I got a multi-layered suit, so it gets hot quick.
Yeah. But, if you got the gloves laying in the front and the jacket maybe in the front, and the kids get to see that and they see the helmets and stuff, I think it just... Yeah.
Well, plus you're talking November, too, so...
Yeah,
you might be wearing
but we're
that.
pulling them into this sport, man. We're pulling them in. I can't thank you enough for coming up here, man. I wish your mother Shirley had come up. Wish she'd have been able to come up. We missed seeing her.
Oh yeah.
Would have been nice to have her in the studio with us. You got any suggestions for anybody that might want to hop in a car and go down that track?
Just get out there and do it.
Just do it.
Just do it.
Let's do it. I know it makes it hard because with our home track, Houston Raceway being closed down, it's hard because a lot of people don't want to make that far travel or take that long of a distance just to go race.
Well, like you said, you can always go to the eighth mile on the Beltway.
You can go right to the 8th mile. if you're coming out with this, like your first time out, come out on a Friday. Once you get more advanced, like I go on Sundays where it's more prep for my car.
So how far is Evadale?
Evendale is roughly 2 miles. I mean, about 2 hours.
About 2 hours from Houston.
Yeah.
So yeah,
It takes me about 2 hours to get there.
What
It's the same either way you go. If you go to Pine Valley in Lufkin, Texas, or Evendale, it's going to be about the same distance.
Yeah. What about what's that? Little River? Out there
Little
in
River
Temple?
is roughly. It takes me roughly 3 hours.
So about 3 hours.
Trailer. So, yeah,
Or if you go to that new track there in Ennis, it's about 3 hours up
about
there.
3 hours.
So at least up there, you can get either the eighth mile or the quarter mile. You've got your options there. So, but yeah, Houston's really lost something losing that quarter mile. I think for a lot of us, anyhow, that grew up here. So, well, Chris, we're going to give some station recognition and close this show out. But thank you again for coming up. And they find you again at Josey's Racing Team.
Yes.
On Facebook, right?
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you. Tell your Uncle Joe we said hello. Tell your Mom Shirley we said hello. And that's it for this episode of Cruisin Car Club Talk. I'm Randy Weldon.
Robert Helmer.
Yes, my co-host. Actually, you're a host. It's his idea for the show. I just tagged along with him on this thing. Dick Sischler? Did I think I'll get it right next week. Is our sound engineer and producer sitting over there in a soundproof booth behind a bulletproof glass. And we are broadcasting from the studios of Lone Star Community Radio on 104.5 and 106.1 FM. If you're out there roaming the world, you can stream us on irlonestar.com, on Facebook, or on YouTube.
And if you view us, please comment. Let us know. We want to hear from you.
Send him the negative comments. I just want the positive stuff.
I always get the negative ones anyway.
We'll look forward to spending time with you again on the next episode of Cruisin Car Club Talk.
Bye. See you next time.